Daniel, I look at some of these teams, and obviously, it's fun to get on the air Monday following week one, and everybody's amped up, and this is definitive, and this team's over, and this team's ready to roll. And there's a lot of football to be played, but still, there's a lot of teams on paper who are supposed to be pretty good who are looking at 0-2 if they don't win this week. Steelers, Ravens, Eagles, you know the team. Seattle lost as well.
The Colts, yeah.
Yeah, which team to you is maybe in a lot more trouble than we want to think?
Well, the Ravens, to me, you don't score an offensive touchdown. Obviously the Broncos didn't either, and they won the game. But Baltimore on offense, when you just try and figure out this game on the line and you're trying to force the ball to Crockett Gilmore, that doesn't leave me all that confident for what they're going to be offensively. So that to me is a concern with that football team. The Colts, they just laid an egg. I mean, they went up against a really, really good Buffalo defense. I'm gonna wait and see on them. I'm not willing to say they're doomed at this point in time, but man, that was not a good start.
Talking to Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network analyst, and he's on Twitter. Follow him at Move the Sticks. Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio.
A couple of divisions that are interesting in how they're going to play out. Obviously, the West, and we were talking about in the AFC, but also the AFC East with the Patriots, who look good beating the Steelers, but the Steelers made a ton of mistakes. And BT and I still believe the Steelers are going to have a really good season, especially when they get some of those guys back that didn't play in the first couple of weeks. But are the Bills, who have a really good defense, as strong as there is in the National Football League, do they have enough at quarterback to overtake them? And more importantly, does Miami, who is also a trendy pick, to jump the Patriots? Can they do that with Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah, look, I love Tannehill, and I think he's going to continue to take that next step as he has each and every year. But I said from the beginning, the Bills, the most talented football team in this division. And I remember going in there last year at training camps, and they had, watching them practice and watching them, even just what they look like getting off the bus. It's just like, well, that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want your football to look like. And I said, I put their 21 starters up against anybody else's 21. It's the 22nd guy that's taking the snaps that's going to kill them. And I don't think the bar is that high for Tyrod Taylor. He doesn't have to play great. Just, protect the football. And if he can generate two explosive plays, either with his legs or with his arm, and they get to 17, 20 points, they're going to win a lot of football games with that defense.
Daniel, I wanted to ask you this. Go back to the Colts for a second. And Coach is on the hot seat, and this obviously is, there's apparently some real division between Grigson and Pagano. I'm less enthused about the Colts' chances. I think they're soft, and I don't think they did much this offseason to tweak their DNA. But which coach, and Pagano might be on that list for you, give us 2 or 3 names that really just need to start out quickly, otherwise the pressure's really going to get amped up.
Well, it's only year 2 for Lovie Smith down there in Tampa, but I mean they have to look better than they looked the other day. That was gross. So there is some pressure there on him, I think, in my opinion, to come out and play well. And as weird as it sounds, and I think with Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati, it's kind of to the point now where they need to do something in the postseason, because it's starting to feel a little bit like some things we've had in the past with a team just not being able to get over that hump. And you see, eventually we're winning a lot of games. Marty Schottenheimer comes to mind. But we've got to start making that next step in the postseason. So I think the pressure is going to start on Marvin once we get to the postseason.
All right, we know you've been cutting up from some film. Give me an upset here so I can make a little cash this weekend. I'd like to try to win some bets here. Who do you got?
Ooh.
Give me one upset.
I'll tell you what could be a sneaky upset, because my expectations were so low for Chicago, and I thought they actually played pretty well. They committed to the ground game. They got 4K cranked up. If they can do that, I think they've got a chance. They're at home against Arizona. If you'd have said before the season, I would have said this would get ugly. But Chicago was a little bit better than I thought last week. John Fox got them playing all right.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. I had to get my picks in for CBSSports.com, and I paused. I wound up picking the Cards, but I did so with great hesitation, so I kind of know where you're coming from. Daniel, nice job. Obviously, he's on Twitter, Move the Sticks, NFL Network, all the shows. He's on YouTube, the podcast, and NFL Now, NFL.com. Thanks for a couple of minutes, man. We'll be chatting soon.
All right, fellas. Take care.
Take
You
care,
got
Daniel.
it. Back at you.